Hello and welcome to All Together Now, Tramshed's free arts program running every Tuesday and Sunday at 4 p.m. throughout spring on YouTube Live. My name is Elana Shyong, and today we are going to be making origami paper cranes and casting one wish together. How are paper cranes and wishes connected? Well, stay tuned if you can see my small paper cranes that I decided to decorate with to find out. Great. So before we start, a bit of housekeeping. To get the most out of the session, please choose live chat rather than the top chat on the chat function. This way you can chat to us and other people joining in on the session. If you can't see this live, that's fine. It will be recorded and you can watch it later. Although if you can't see this live, you wouldn't be watching now. So I guess not really any point to say that. Anyways, this session will be approximately 40 to 45 minutes long, and you can join for as little or as much as you would like. I think that origami paper making and origami in general is great because it's an art form that is all based around community, and especially what we're going to be doing today, which is going to be creating a wish. I'll tell you how those are connected later on. So yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But before we start, it's important to warm up our bodies and get us ready for wish making. Hugely important. So we're going to be doing a very quick, very short physical warm-up, which is going to be including our head, our shoulders, our elbows, our wrists, and our fingers. So first, we can go ahead and get started by moving our head and dropping it down to one side of our shoulder. And you should feel a slight stretch here. Okay, just don't push it too hard. If it hurts, then kind of let it rest. And if you really want an extra stretch, you can use your hand as a guide. So we can hold that for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fantastic. Bring your head back up and drop it to the other side. Ooh, that side hurt for me. Stiff neck. Okay. All right, and we can use our hand again and pull. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Wonderful. And bring your head back up to center. And I always like to turn and rotate our heads all the way around. So you can just do one side and rotate it all the way. We're going to do it 3 times. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Wonderful. Good job. And we're going to go the other way. So whichever way you didn't go. And 1, 2, and 3. Fantastic. So now that we've warmed up our head a little bit, we're going to move on to our shoulders. So for our shoulders, we're just going to move them up towards our ears. Hold for 3, 2, 1. And as we're moving it back, kind of move it back and down. That should give you a nice stretch. So we can do that 2 more times. So again, up to the ears and back and, ooh, that feels good, down. And the last time, up to your ear and back and down. Great. And honestly, it feels pretty good. So we can just do a little bit more. All right. So then after that, we can do our elbows. I like to warm up my elbows. I don't know why, but we can kind of move it around. We can draw some shapes. Origami is all about shapes. So we can draw maybe some circles. We can draw diamonds, a little bit complicated, a rhombus. Test your middle school math. Middle school is secondary school in the UK, I believe. I'm American, if you can't tell by my accent. And I like to have everyone write their names in the air. I feel like it's a bit silly, but we love silly here. And this is a silly space, so that's fine. We can do a little signature, and a little dot, fancy. And down. And we're going to rotate our wrists. I find this is great just because it feels nice. And sometimes I hear some crackling, which, that should be fine. And the other way. Great. So we are going to be using our hands a lot today. We are going to be doing some paper folding, which is origami. So we gotta warm them up. And now our fingers, we can just kind of wiggle them. This is the body part we're going to be using the most. So we can just do a little bit over here and over here, maybe at the top, and rain it down. Great. And so now that we've warmed up kind of our fingers and our heads and things like that. We can warm up our face very quickly. So we can warm up by opening our mouth and kind of stretching it out. Our tongues. Great. It's like we don't really stretch our face enough. You know what I mean? And our nose, we can do that a little bit. And our eyes, great. And our eyebrows, great. And if you can do one, awesome. If you can do the other one, I can't really, but we can just do it up and down. Can you do both eyebrows up? Use the chat and let me know. I can definitely do this one, which is my right, but I really can't. Oh, I just did it. Oh, I can't really do the other one, yeah. Let me know in the chat function if you can raise both eyebrows. I commend you if you can. Great. So now that we have warmed up most of our body, we're going to do the rest of our body and really just dance it out. So we're going to be just moving our bodies in whatever way we wish for about 5 seconds. And then I'm going to call out 3, 2, 1, and freeze. We're just going to do a fun little pose. So ready and go. Just kind of move whichever way you feel like. And again, it's okay. Whatever you want to do. And 3, 2, 1, and freeze. Great. And now this time we can wiggle our body again and 3, 2, 1, freeze. So Charlotte says, I definitely can't do both eyebrows. Don't worry, I'm exactly the same. So don't you worry about it. All right, ready? Here we go. And we are moving, 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 moving. And 3, 2, 1, and freeze. And Sweet Andy Forever says, one is easier than the other one for me. Same for me. The OG captain says, I can do both because I'm super talented. Well, you are the OG captain indeed. So good for you. All right. And for the last bit, just stretch in whichever way feels best. Emily says, I can do both eyebrows, which means they can dance better than I can. Yeah, that's okay. You know what? As long as your eyebrows can dance, your eyebrows are a part of you. So really, you can dance too. Great. So again, just for the next kind of 5 seconds, just stretch in whatever way feels good for you. And we are going to close up our warm-up session. Thomas says, my left goes higher than my right. Woo, growing. I love it. Great. Thank you all for your responses. That is a lot of fun. Fantastic. So now that we have finished our warm-up, the next and most important, possibly, question of the entire session, which is, if you had one wish, what would you wish for? Now, there's a million and one things you could wish for. You could wish for, I bet a lot of people would wish for $1 million. That would be pretty amazing. I would love that. But I bet a lot of people would wish for, you know, unlimited sunshine, whatever that is. And actually, just a little tidbit I wanted to share with you. Right now, it is 4:08 p.m. in London, England. And actually, where I am, funnily enough, it is not 4:08 p.m. Rather, it is midnight, 8 past 12 a.m. So I'm actually in a completely different time zone. I'm in Taiwan at the moment. So I think this cross-connection sharing of wishes is a pretty amazing thing. And on that note, I think that my wish would be able to teleport and travel all over the world. So I think that what we're going to do is we are going to try it together. I'm sure a lot of you right now are wishing you could be somewhere else, whether that's in the UK or somewhere else in the world. And so today we're going to be going to 3 different locations using our minds and teleportation and technology. They're going to fuse together and it's going to be magical. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to close our eyes, or if you don't want to do that, kind of look down below the camera, just so you're kind of shielded. And we're going to count down from 3. And on 1, we're going to open our eyes and we're going to be going to the beach. So we will be going to the beach first. So let's get ready. So close your eyes or lower your eyesight. And ready? 3, 2, 1. We are at the beach. Can you feel the sunshine on your skin? The sound of the waves? maybe we're eating an ice cream. Mmm, delicious. Wonderful. What else could we see or feel at the beach? Use the chat and let me know. The OG captain says, wow, you are a hero for doing a workshop at midnight. Thank you. I had to have a lot of caffeine today to make it thus far, but here we are. So yeah, please do use the chat function and share, if you were at the beach, what kinds of things you might be feeling, seeing, or hearing. So a little bit more about what I am up to in Taiwan. I am actually in a beach city. I am in a city called Kenting, and I was at the beach. Perhaps you can notice from my glowing tan, but some of the things that I heard definitely was the crashing sounds of the waves. I definitely also heard kids, the sound of them playing, having fun, crying, screaming, napping. Heard a lot of that. But I would absolutely love to know anything else you have been feeling. Emily says she's felt sandy toes. Absolutely. I love the feeling of sandy toes. Some people I think don't like it because it kind of gets stuck in between your toes, but I definitely love it. So yeah, sandy toes. You can wiggle your toes a little bit right now and kind of feel that, which is great. Thomas says he can smell the sea. I think I can too. Wow. Charlotte says she can feel the sunshine on her face. If I close my eyes, I can feel the warm rays hitting my face too, which is wonderful. Beat Andy Forever says salty air, seagulls, yeah, seagulls, loud, probably if you're in Brighton, stealing your chips. I hope that doesn't happen. Protect them. The OG captain says they would love to have a beach party with all of your friends and family. That sounds fantastic. Maybe there would be some music in the background. Some of your friends and family running, playing, laughing, talking. Fantastic. Charlotte, anyone for fish and chips? Yes, that sounds very good. The taste of the fried, battered cod and the chips. But again, be careful of those seagulls because they will take your fish and chips from your hand. Not great. But I think that the idea of friends and family and a party at the beach is a really fantastic way to kind of say goodbye and move on to our second location. So let's just have that lingering thought of all of our friends and family enjoying the sea, the sun, the salty air. And we're going to say goodbye to the beach, and we are going to head to our second location, which is the jungle. So again, we're going to close our eyes and count down from 3. And on 1, we're going to open our eyes and be in the jungle. So ready? Close your eyes. 3, 2, 1, open. And we're at the jungle. Can you smell the flowers and the berries? Ooh, can you hear all of the animals and insects in the forest? And the jungle, excuse me, we're in the jungle, not the forest. Can you hear the wind in the trees? I can definitely hear the sounds of a lot of animals. Can you use the chat function and tell me what animals you might be hearing, what things you might be feeling or seeing? What sounds do you hear? I'm definitely also feeling the sunshine on my face, but it feels kind of obscured, hidden by the leaves on all of the trees. I definitely feel very humid. I feel sticky, like there's a layer of sweat on my skin. And oh, a mosquito. Jungles have lots and lots of mosquitoes. So be careful for that. Maybe just brush it off. Charlotte says she loves the smell of the rainforest and it's very humid. Absolutely. The mix of the flowers and the water in the air and kind of all the leaves and things like that. Fantastic. What are some other things you might be seeing, hearing, smelling, touching, tasting, perhaps? I definitely can feel the slipperiness of the moss on the rock as I'm walking. You know, you got to be really careful with that, otherwise you could slip and fall quite easily. I can also kind of see a spider web just there in the distance. Just gonna navigate my way around that so I don't walk into it head face on. That would not be great. But is there anything else you're seeing, hearing, smelling? Yeah, sweet Andy forever, absolutely. The slippery rocks, I hear you on that. And there might be some water cascading lightly just on them. You know, be careful. Don't trip. Stay safe. But absolutely the slippery rocks. I agree. Oh, the OG captain, too hot for me. I agree. We could have one of those portable fans. I don't know if you've ever seen those. In Taiwan, it's also very, very humid and very hot. So when it comes to summertime, you have these handheld fans, just a really small fan, and you just kind of turn it on. And some of them spray mist, some water, which is fantastic. OG Captain is going to jump in the river. Fantastic idea. Great way to cool off. I would join you on that. We're jumping in the river. We're cooling down. Fantastic. And I think that is a fantastic place to finish our jungle adventure. We might be a little bit wet, but you know, we dry off, fine. So for our final location, we are going to be going somewhere I'm sure all of you know, right on the top of the London Eye. I wonder, has anyone been to the top of the London Eye before? Let me know. I have walked past it on the South Bank area many a time, and I think I have been to the top just once, and it was fantastic to go all the way to the top and look down. So I think that's going to be our last location. So clothes are dry. We're going to close our eyes and count down from 3. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and welcome to the London Eye. Wow. Looking down, we can see a lot of things. Can you hear the sound of the boat's horn as they're passing by? Oh, I think I can see Big Ben. Now I'm recollecting my time in London and I'm trying to remember if you can actually see the clock face from the top of the London Eye. If anyone can recollect, please let me know. And definitely the Big Ben. Maybe the bell is chiming. Maybe it's 12 a.m., so it's chiming 12 times. Also see the Houses of Parliament lined up there. What are some other things that you can see, hear, feel, touch, maybe, right at the top of the London Eye? It's pretty high. I'm a little bit afraid of heights, so just going to be holding onto the sides very carefully, sitting down as I should be. But yeah, what is everyone else feeling? I can hear the sound of so many people walking around. What a bustling city. What else can we see or feel from the top of the London Eye? Oh, the OG captain informs me, yes, you can usually see Big Ben, but it's in scaffolding right now. Ah, okay. It'll be more like some plastic sheets covering it, protecting it, while construction is still going on. Great, thank you for that. All right. Thomas has said they have been there once as a child, but had to sit in front of his brother because it turns out he was scared of heights. Who knew? Oh no, what a scary place to realize you're afraid of heights on top of the London Eye. Ah! So we are going to imagine for a moment we are not afraid of heights. We're loving it. Fantastic. Sweet Andy forever. Here's screechy bicycles. Absolutely. Absolutely. Honking cars, always. Would it be London without screechy bicycles and honking cars? Absolutely. Great. Well, I think we are ready to say goodbye to the London Eye, because on the count of 3, we are going to go back to where we started, in our own homes, in our own spaces, wherever we may be right now. For me, it would be in the hotel room I'm currently in. So get ready to close your eyes. We're going to count down from 3. Ready? 3, 2, 1. And welcome back to your own space. Whew. What a great adventure. So teleportation is a pretty nice wish, isn't it? Well, that is going to be moving us along to our origami history, why we finally know paper cranes and wishes are connected. So, does anyone know what origami is? It is the Japanese art. Oh, okay. So excited to paper fold. This paper crane wanted to fly. It has not, but maybe our wish can help it. So origami is the Japanese art of paper folding. So the term origami comes from the Japanese words oru, which means to fold, and kami, which is paper. So naturally, oru kami over time merged into the word that we know today, origami, which is to fold paper. So the great and really interesting thing about origami is you don't usually use any glue or tape or anything at all. You just use your hands and the papers. So hopefully everyone has prepared a square sheet of paper. And if you haven't, if you have a rectangular piece, I will show you how to make it into a square piece. It's very easy, so don't worry about it. But we are going to be using just the paper and us and creating a paper crane. So with origami, you can fold a lot of different things, boats, flowers, envelopes, easy, super complicated, a lot of variety. But we are going to be folding our paper crane today. So according to Japanese tradition, folding 1,000 paper cranes gives you a chance to make one special wish come true. So the crane is said to live for 1,000 years, which is the significance behind the quantity you need to fold. So origami cranes, also known as iruzuru, that are folded into a group of 1,000 paper cranes are known as senbazuru. So we can go ahead and practice saying that word now. Senbazuru. Senbazuru. And that is the Japanese word for 1,000 folded paper cranes. And if there are any Japanese nationals watching or anyone who knows how to speak Japanese, do let me know if I've spoken that correctly or not. I hope I have. I think I have, but always good to check. So what we are going to be doing, hopefully, is folding a senbazuru, 1,000 paper cranes together. And I think that this is a really fun and fantastic way to engage with each other on an international level. And that really is an international level. You know, you are all there in the UK. I definitely know other people around the world watching. I think my sister is watching. She's in America. Have some other friends watching too. So it really is an international collective experience. And it's paper folding, which is fun. So as you might expect, folding 1,000 paper cranes is not an easy project. So origami cranes get easier to fold with practice, but making 1,000 is still quite difficult, which is why it's really common for groups of people like us to join together to make a senbazuru, which is 1,000 folded paper cranes. So because this activity brings people together, the act of making a senbazuru has been adapted on a larger scale to spread public awareness, often for good causes or charitable fundraising campaigns. So some really amazing causes are wildlife conservation, cancer awareness, and tsunami victims. So with that being said, I wonder what our 1,000 paper cranes can be for. Well, we can decide together along the way. So as we begin to make our paper cranes, think about what you would want our collective wish to be. I am just going to turn on my camera on my phone so you can see my setup. Great. So first of all, you can see I have a lovely small collection of paper cranes I've already made. And I have a good selection of papers. Which color should I make this paper crane with? Let me know in the comments using the live chat. So as you can see, this is what we are going to be making today. It has wings, a head and neck, and a tail. So before we begin, don't forget, origami isn't about perfection. It's about patience. It's about being slow and steady. And most importantly, it's about creating art. So just like all of us are different and perfectly imperfect, our cranes should be the same. So the small differences are what make us unique and beautiful, just like our paper cranes. So Metro Life says pink, Charlotte says yellow, Sweet Andy Forever says green. All right, so we've eliminated some of these other colors. And I think because we have pink and green already on this row, we're going to go ahead and go with yellow. Thomas Mason with pink. Oh, we've chosen yellow, but next time. Yeah. And if you have a white sheet of paper or any other colors, feel free to color it and then fold it, or fold it, unfold it, and then color it, you know, whatever. And also feel free to decorate with paint, stickers, glitter, anything you feel like you want your paper crane to look like. Okay. So before we begin, like I said, if you have a rectangular piece of paper, it's really easy to turn it into a square piece of paper. All you have to do is bring one corner to the top crease and fold it. Yeah. And then from there, you just have to cut or rip using a ruler this rectangular piece off. So I'm just going to rip. You should probably use scissors or a ruler or something just so you have a straighter edge. But then you open it up and it's the perfect square. So if at any time you need to slow down, go back, take a break, do what you need to do. The video will be here. It is recorded, so you can always come back and watch it at your own pace. Great. So let's get started. Let us know what you think. You can get in touch via email at info@tramshed.org or social media. Links will be put in the chat now. And if you know someone without digital access, please tell them they can download an activity sheet from the Tramshed website or get in touch with the Tramshed via phone or email, and they can post an activity sheet straight to them. Great. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing we want to do is we want to have our piece of paper right in the middle of your working space. And just so you're aware, because I'm on my phone, I'm going to be folding everything backwards so that when it's facing you, the viewers, it's going to be the correct way. So bear with me if I pause sometimes to know my top from bottom and left from right. All right, so the first thing you want to do is you want to take the bottom part, the bottom corner, and bring it to the top corner. Here. And then we're going to want to crease it down. I like to use my fingers to crease it down, and sometimes my nail to make a sharper crease. Yeah. Great. Once you've done that, open it back up. And do the same thing on the other side. Take your bottom corner and fold it to the top corner. Diagonally. And crease. Great. And open it back up. And now flip your paper around. So that if you're on a colored piece of paper, the white side would be on the other side, or just the other side. And now take one side and we are going to fold this way. And also let me know in the comments, this in America is called hot dog style. So, well, I guess it would be this way, hot dog style. So let me know in the comments if that's what's also called in the UK. I feel like hot dogs is a very American thing though, so I'm sure. But yeah, anyways, spin it back up. And do the same thing on the other side. Great. And open it back up. And flip around. So at this point, what we should be seeing is somewhat of a snowflake. So you should have an X and also a plus sign. Yeah. And again, remember, if you need to slow down and go back to do another step or redo it, absolutely take your time. It's no problem at all. Great. So once that is done, you're going to want to turn your square so that it's a diamond shape. Yeah. And from here, you're going to want to take your two corners and fold them towards the bottom square, the bottom corner. Oops. Oops. Oh, sorry, I messed that up. So you are actually going to want to make sure it is on the other side, on the white side. Yeah, I apologize about that. Doing it backwards is a little bit confusing. But anyways, you're going to want to do it the white side up, turn it as a diamond. And from there, then take your two corners and bring them down to the bottom corner like so. And so I can bring this up for you a little bit closer so that you can see. So again, we are at the diamond and you bring these two corners right to the bottom, just like that. And you should see a kind of diamond-like pocket, and that is the right thing. So then you pinch the bottom, that's what I like to do, just so you have a little bit more security. And you bring that final top corner that's just kind of lingering down to the bottom. And it should look like a smaller square. Yeah, and so that was a tiny bit complicated, so we're going to do that one more time. Again, you're going to make sure that your paper is the white side up or the second side that you folded. Diamond. And you're going to be taking your two corners and folding it to the bottom corner like so. And from there, you're going to hold that top corner and bring it down. And there you have it, a small little square. And so now your square should have two layers, and we're only going to be folding either the top layer or the bottom layer at a time. So just be aware of that for the next step. Great, you're doing fantastic. And now for the next part, you're going to want to take one of your corners and bring it to the middle for a crease. Yeah, like so. And just go ahead and crease that down. And it should look like that. And then you do the same thing on the other side. So whichever corner you haven't done yet, bring that to the middle crease. And you should make a kind of like a small kite shape in the middle of your paper. And you can make sure to crease that. You can use your fingernail, you can use your hand, whatever object you have nearby, and that is what that should look like. So you have two little flaps here. Great. And then you're going to want to take the triangle that's just at the top here and fold it downwards towards the bottom point, like so. Great. And now we're going to do the most difficult part of the entire origami for making paper cranes, which is called the squash fold. So to do that, first you unfold that, and unfold that. So essentially unfold all three steps you just did. And then from there, you take the top layer, just the top. So then if you have a colored paper, it should be white inside, and bring it up and fold along the creases you've just made, like so. I like to do that by pushing these two corners into the middle crease and folding it. So it should turn into a diamond shape like this. Yeah, and so because this is the most complicated fold, don't be stressed if you don't get it right the first time. It definitely took me a very long time as well. I'm just going to show you again. So there would be that fold to the center, crease, this fold to the center crease, this fold down, unfold, unfold, unfold. Take the very top layer and bring it up and fold along the creases while pushing the corners on either side to the middle. And if you need to pause to do this, do it. take your time, relax. Remember, origami is supposed to be fun. So take your time. And that should be what the finished product looks like. I'm actually impressed with myself that I did this upside down. So maybe if you are really into folding paper cranes, you can do a bunch and then fold it upside down and then tell Tramshed later whether or not you were successful, because this is hard. Great. So then after you have that, you're going to flip it around and you're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So first you're going to take the corner and bring it to the middle crease and crease. And if you are on a table or a hard surface, I would recommend using the table as a way to crease. But just because my camera is a little far away, I think it's a bit easier for you to see if I hold it up. So you do the same thing on the other side. Bring the corner into the middle crease and crease. Great. All right. Then you have this little flap here, which you're going to bring down. Just like that. So again, it's the same thing we did on the other side. Great. And now we're going to open that up and we're going to prepare for the squash fold again. So again, you take that top layer, you bring it up, and you fold along the creases you've just made. So again, you take your two corners and push them towards the middle. And crease. Great. And once you are done, it should look like a smaller diamond, which is even on both sides. And I said this during the dress rehearsal. I still think it rings true. This really just reminds me of a sim. You know what I mean? Like, this is exactly what Sims have on their head as they're walking around. And if you don't play Sims, then just ignore that comment or Google Sims later so that you don't think that I am silly. And if you do think I'm silly, that's also fine, because I am a bit silly. All right, so now that we have our diamond, we're almost there. We just have a few more folds left. The first thing you're going to want to make sure before the next step is that the split here is facing downwards. Yeah, so the other side doesn't have a split. Make sure that that's facing up. So again, the split is facing downwards. Great. So we are going to be taking a corner and folding it into the middle crease. But remember, it's only the first layer, just like always. Yeah, so we're taking that first layer and we're popping it into the corner and creasing it down. Essentially, it's the same crease as the very first that we did once we made our tiny square, but yeah, it should look like that. And then we do the same on the other side. We take our corner and we fold it in to the middle crease. And it's okay if you have to kind of maneuver it, finagle it a little bit. I definitely have to do that sometimes. Like right now, this is not cooperating. I'm going to put it on the table. Thomas, it does look like a sim. I agree. It really looks like a sim, especially if you have a darker color like green, which is the actual sim color. Quite funny. So when you finish with both sides, it should look like this. Wow, it looks like some kind of gemstone. If only, if only. But origami paper is pretty good too. Jasmine says she's really enjoying this. Thank you so much. I'm really enjoying this too. All right, so then we are going to flip that around and we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. As you can see, origami is quite a lot about symmetry and a bit of math as well, but like fun math, you know. All right, so we're going to take our corner and fold it again inwards toward the middle crease and crease down. And take the other side, fold it to the middle crease and crease down as well. Great. How is everyone doing? Let me know in the chat function. I'm just going to use my nail and crease down so that all of my edges are nice and strongly pressed, so the next part is easier. So this is where we are now. You're doing fantastic. Now, for the next part, we are going to be making the neck and the tail. So this is going to go into a crane, transform into a crane in about 30 seconds. So how we're going to do that is we are first going to open the two sides here and take our bottom corner and fold it up and in, up and in, so that we make a point here, yeah? And that is slightly complicated, so we're just going to do that one more time. When it's straight, make sure that the split is facing downwards. We're going to open the little folds here, and we're going to fold them up and in. So it looks like this. And the inside should look like this. Great. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So again, we're going to open those folds and fold it up and in. And for this part, I almost always have to finagle because it kind of looks wonky like that. And you know what? That is absolutely fine too. Sometimes I have to open it up again and redo it just so it's in the right shape that I want. So feel free to do that. And if it ends up not looking like an absolute point, that is absolutely fine as well. So as you can see, we have made our two ends, the tail and the head, and these are our wings. And so for the final little bit to turn this paper into a crane is we're going to be folding the head. And so we're going to do that by taking one end, and whichever end you kind of think you want to be the head, and fold it again down and in, into the head. And I like to kind of just use my hands to mold it into the shape that I want. And when you're finished, it should look like that. And you're going to want to open these wings up. You can fold them down if you want. And open it up. And there you have it. Your paper swan. Swan. Crane. Ah, it is almost 1 a.m. here, so forgive me. But yeah, so you can see here the two wings, the tail, the head, and the neck. And there you have it. Very well done. Let me know in the live chat how you're getting along. And if you've done it, congratulations, I commend you. And if you haven't, you know what, again, that's absolutely fine. I definitely didn't get it the first time as well. I think it took me around 5 or 6 tries to truly get a nice one. And even this one, you know, a little bit wonky, but that's okay. Great. So now that we're all finished, I think we should name our cranes something fun. And I'm looking at this little guy, yellow with a funny tail. I think I'm going to name this after our beloved Sesame Street Big Bird, because I feel like this is what the energy that this is emulating from this. So my paper crane is going to be called Big Bird. And whatever your object or your art has ended up being, whether it's a paper crane, whether it's a fusion of a paper crane and a pigeon for some reason, whatever it might look like, go ahead and give it a name and pop it into the chat and let me know what you have named your paper crane. So this is going to be Big Bird. I made one earlier today for the dress rehearsal. I think it was this one, which is Willy Wonka. As you can see, it's a little bit wonky. But yeah, so we have Willy Wonka. We have Big Bird. I sense a theme here of television names, which is fine. Emily says, you did it. Congratulations, Emily. And Emily's crane is going to be called Brian. Great name. So we have Big Bird, Willy Wonka, and Brian. I am loving our group that we have already. Thomas says, his looks more like an ugly duckling than a crane. Fantastic. We love an ugly duckling. And so you're going to call yours Donald. How appropriate. Lauren, the OG captain says, your last 2 steps were different to how you make paper cranes usually. My recipe is better. Oh, well, thank you very much. You can adjust your recipe, and now we have our paper cranes. Thank you. So the OG captain, yours is called Matilda, also a fantastic name. Sweet Annie Forever, Doug, love it. So we have Brian, Big Bird, Donald, Matilda, Doug. Great. Thank you so much for sharing your names with me. All right. So now that we have created names for all of our cranes, the most important part, what's our wish? As you were writing, I'm sure you were thinking about what you wanted our wish, our 1,000 paper crane wish to be. Go ahead and write it in the chat now and tell me if we make 1,000 paper cranes and we have the chance to make one wish, what would it be? And you know what? Out of this whole workshop, just preparing and practicing, I've already made almost 10 paper cranes. So I think that's, do some math, 1,000 divided by 10 is 100. That's 1/100th of the goal. So you know what? If you keep making your own, if you have time to do that, maybe one day you can make your Senbazuru, your 1,000, and have your own wish. But in the meantime, I would love to hear what everyone else thinks they would want our wish to be. And don't forget, this session will stay up on YouTube Live, so you can catch up again later, or you can send the link to your friends and share it with your networks. And while you're at it, why not subscribe to Tramshed's YouTube account and choose notifications on so you don't miss out. So Tramshed can keep the majority of their programs free. We would be very grateful if you could please fill out their monitoring form. It only takes a couple of minutes, and you can find the link in the chat now. And most importantly, please take photos or videos or anything of your amazing paper crane works of art and send them to us via email or social media by dropping them off any creative masterpieces at Tramshed's venue on Mondays, 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. and they will be displayed in the community art gallery window display. I think it would be beautiful if we decorated them with glitter and paint and color, stickers, anything, and we just kind of had them lined up on the Tramshed window. So let's hear some of your wishes. The OG captain wants an instant end to lockdown everywhere, but with all the good parts left. For example, less pollution. Ooh, that is a really great wish. I definitely think that that ties into Emily's, which is my wish would be health and happiness for all at the moment. So we can kind of merge those two together as a start of our wish, wishing for health and happiness, which eventually could lead to a lot more hope and community growth and potentially the end of lockdown as well, with all of the good parts like less pollution. And another wish from Thomas is that we could all start doing this in person again soon. I agree. I think that these are fantastic wishes that really do all tie into each other. We are wishing health and happiness and everything that comes with that. And hopefully Tramshed will be opening soon. I heard it is. And instant end to lockdown everywhere. All of these fantastic things that come with wishing health and happiness. What a fantastic wish. So I think we can just look at our paper cranes and say, we're gonna get to 1,000 and just kind of let it fly away. Great. Thank you all so much. This session has been a part of Tramshed's All Together Now programs. There will be free sessions on YouTube Live every Tuesday and Sunday at 4 p.m. throughout spring. So this coming Tuesday at 4 p.m., we have story time with Mama G. So find out more at tramshed.org. My name is Elena, and it's been wonderful. Thank you so much for your time today. I hope that you have a great rest of your Sunday and that all of our wonderful paper crane wishes come true. Thank you. Bye.